All right, the question that I received, is it okay to feel frustrated when someone throws you or your team under the bus on a business call to push blame for not having their stuff together? How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean Barnes. I want to welcome you back to the Way of the Wolf. Today on the show, I want to talk about getting thrown under the bus. Who's been there? Yeah, it is beyond frustrating. And what prompted this is I had a listener of the show reach out to me with a question. What I want to do is go ahead and read that question so you can better understand the scenario that we're going to talk through on the show today, and then I'm going to dive into it. Before I do, one thing that I would ask is if you could leave a comment or rank or rate the show on whatever platform you're listening, it would really help me out in terms of driving the algorithm to increase our reach. I'm not selling anything. There are no ads on this show. There never will be. This is genuinely just to try to help people out. And one way that you could help me out is to like, subscribe, leave a comment, review, or share it with a friend or family member. Okay, let's get into this. All right, the question that I received, is it okay to feel frustrated when someone throws you or your team under the bus on a business call to push blame for not having their stuff together? This is something that happens more than I think people want to admit, and they just kind of internalize their frustration. I will say, experiencing frustrations in that situation is entirely normal and expected. What's important is how you deal with that situation. So a few things that I want you to focus on. The very first step is going to be taking time to cool down. I can assure you that no good is going to come if you come out of the gates swinging, hey, why did you do that? That's crap. You don't have your stuff together. I've done everything that I need to do to help you. It's not going to work in your favor. As good as it might feel in that moment, I can promise you, it's not going to work well for you in the long term. So take a little bit of time to cool down, because you have to approach this situation from a calm and collected state of mind. Now, one thing that also helps is you trying to understand their perspective. Understand why they did what they did. And a lot of times it's someone, maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they've got too much on their plate. Maybe they're afraid of losing their job because their boss has been coming down hard on them recently. There's kind of no excuse for this type of behavior, but if you understand those dynamics at play, it can potentially help you calm down and just get into a little bit better headspace, and then also navigate a step that we're going to talk about here in a moment. Keep in mind that negativity tarnishes your brand. So as frustrated as you might be at this person for throwing you under the bus, you going to their boss or other people in the organization and expressing your frustration and bitching and moaning and complaining about it, all that's going to do is paint you in a negative light. Yes, there should be trusted agents that you have on your team, people that you can go vent to about these types of things, but I would encourage you to avoid venting to too many people, because it's going to create issues for you and it's going to ultimately tarnish your brand and reputation that you've worked so hard to build over the years. This next step is going to be the most challenging step for you. You're going to have a conversation with the person that threw you under the bus. I know you don't want to. I know it's not going to be fun, but this is what happens when you work for large organizations and you start stepping into more and more of a leadership role. You have to have difficult conversations. And I think the first step in that conversation, or the first talking point, should probably be, hey, can you talk me through why you threw me under the bus on that call? It's going to put them in a very uncomfortable situation where they're going to have to actually answer for their actions. And they're going to see that you saw what they did. Doing this or having this conversation in person is going to help out significantly because it gives both of you the opportunity to read each other's body language and adjust the conversation accordingly. Once they talk through it, maybe it was their boss has been coming down on them. Maybe they are worried about losing their jobs. That sucks. That's not fun. Nobody wants to be in that position or situation. You can then move on to the next part of the conversation, which is, hey, how can I help you be better? What can I do to better support you and your team so that we can avoid this in the future? Let's work together. That's going to set the tone. It's going to send a very powerful message that you're above any sort of drama. And it's also going to let them know that, one, you acknowledge and see what occurred and that you're not comfortable with it, but that you're bigger than that and you want to help. You want to ensure that they and their teams are successful. Now, you also have to contend with the tarnished brand or your perceived tarnishing of your brand based on what was said on that big conference call or team call. I would have tried to avoid going out and having ad hoc conversations with people to say, oh, well, John threw me under the bus here and I'm actually helping him out. Again, all that's going to do is paint you in a negative light. What you need to do is focus on executing your job to the best of your ability. That's what it comes down to. Because that brand and reputation that you spent so many years focusing on building is a result of your actions, not your words. People are going to want to pay attention to your actions, not your words. So take action, execute to the best of your ability, and continue helping John and his team, even though he might have messed things up and thrown you under the bus. Because people are going to take note. People are very perceptive. And they're going to say, wait a second, John just threw Sean under the bus on that call, but here Sean is helping him out, continuing to ensure that John is successful. And they're going to take note. And they're going to understand that at some point in the future, if it happens again, they're immediately going to question, well, is that really what happened? Or is John just kind of fumbling the ball again? Patience is key. Whenever you work through challenges like this, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. I want to highlight the importance of a book called Crucial Conversations. I know I talk about this book a lot on this channel. It is a powerful book that helps you navigate challenging conversations like what I'm covering on this episode. Now, if you're in an organization where many of the people are throwing each other under the bus, trying to affect change in a positive way is going to take time. Because you're going to have this situation with John, and then Jason, and then Sally, and then Jebediah, or whomever you have on your team or in other teams. Patience is going to be key. Now, on a long enough timeline, if you are still struggling and you just can't make a dent in this culture and move it in a positive light, and it just drags you down over and over and month after month, at some point, you have to make the difficult decision of, is this corporation right for me? Would I be better off working for a different company that has a better culture? That's a decision that only you can make. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and summarize all this stuff for you guys really quickly. First, cool down. Take your time. Make sure that you're in a calm, collected state. Try to understand. Try to get their perspective and see what's driving that behavior. Why did they do what they did? Avoid the negativity. That one's huge. Do not come across as negative. Crucial conversations. That's talking through the conversation with John and making sure that he understands, hey, I'm not okay with this. Execute to the best of your ability. That's what this is all about. You're going to continue to grow, you're going to continue to learn, and you're going to continue to build that brand for yourself. And then patience. That's really what it comes down to. These types of conversations and situations are never fun. They're never easy, but they do happen. If any of you are running into a situation like this, please feel free to reach out to me, Sean at The Way of the Wolf. Happy to jump on a quick call, talk through whatever challenging situation you're dealing with at that point in time, and see if I can help you out. All right, everybody, that's all I got for this topic. I appreciate your time. Please remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. That really helps me out. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.